Welcome, alumni, friends, Yidden from all over to tonight's Mayanot Hakhel event. First and foremost, L'chaim. So why are we here? In the time of the Beis Hamikdash, Klal Yisrael would come on the 8th year, the year of Hakhel, right after Sukkot to the Beis Hamikdash. Hakhel es ha'am ha'anoshim v'anoshim v'taf, men, women, and children come together in the Beis Hamikdash. And the Rebbe was passionate that although we don't have the physical mitzvah, we don't have the Beis Hamikdash, so we cannot do the physical mitzvah, but the Pasuk says, what is the meaning of the mitzvah? L'man yilmadu, l'man yishma'u, v'yoru es Hashem Elokeichem. That we come together in unity. Hakhel. Why do we come together in unity? To come together to inspire, to be inspired, and to inspire others. To come to a higher level of Yiras Shamayim, awe of heaven, a relationship with Hashem, a relationship with Torah and mitzvahs. Why are we coming together? Because the unity of coming together helps connect us to each other, and with that we have the inspiration to go to the next level. Whenever we come together, the Rebbe often would speak and have long sichas. It could be a Rambam sicha, it could be a Rashi sicha, it could be a Parsha sicha. But at the end of the sicha, there was always three words. The three words from Pirkei Avos. I won't say always, but almost always. V'amaisa hu ha'ikar. When we come together, firstly, just coming together is a success. Achdus is a success. Coming together, reliving our connection to the Beis Hamedrash in Mayanot in Yerushalayim is a success. But we never look back, we always look forward. V'amaisa hu ha'ikar. We all, hopefully, will walk away tonight with new inspiration, and that new inspiration should impact ourselves and also impact others. So just on a very simple, mundane way, this year is the year of Hakhel. And the Rebbe always spoke on the year of Hakhel, and I remember Tovshim Mem Ches 1988, almost every Farbrengen, the Rebbe was passionate about Hakhel, gathering together in every occasion, in every moment, and the impact can be incredible. So what's a simple Amaisu Iker? There are over 125 people in the room tonight. Baruch Hashem. Imagine if 125 people in the next 6 weeks till Rosh Chodesh Elul, on their own, will organize a Hakhel event in their community, in their home. Meaning, each and every one of you in your home or your community organize a Hakhel event, and at least 10 people come, that 1,250 people have been impacted by this Hakhel event to come to a new level of a relationship with Hashem, with Torah, with Yiddishkeit, with Chassidus, with everything holy. And Be'ezrat Hashem will soon come to the great Hakhel event, the Hakhel event where all of Am Yisrael comes together in unity, together with Mashiach in Yerushalayim. And for those who get in early, you can get a place on our new roof of the new building to see the parade, Mashiach parade. I just want to conclude. Firstly, thank you to all of you for coming and joining. Many came from far, from close, but everyone made an effort to be here and to meet friends and to be in unity. I want to thank the Mayanot staff who have journeyed far from Eretz Yisrael. Firstly, my partner, the executive director, Rabbi Shemtov. Rabbi Levinger, who came here tonight, but the call of the hour was that he should speak at the Campus Kinnus Convention in New Jersey. So he's spiritually here, but physically at the Kinnus in New Jersey with the Shluchim. Rabbi Wichnin, our Rosh Yeshiva. And someone who, the director of the women's program, someone I know well, Rivka Marga Gestetner. I also want to take this opportunity. Somehow we always feel that things just happen. And Baruch Hashem, they somehow happen. But there's usually someone behind the scenes who make it happen. So I would like to take this opportunity over here in the United States to thank Rabbi Moshe Silver. And in Eretz Yisrael, working in our administrative office, and Susie Mahler, who is not physically here, but put a huge effort to make this happen tonight. We will begin tonight's proceedings. Tonight's Hakhel, we're coming close to Gimmel Tammuz. So we're going to call a dear friend, an alumni, I do not remember what year, who flew in from Florida to be here tonight, Shir Schneider, to read the Rebbe's Kapitel. Please stand up, and we'll read Kuf Chof Beis. There are cards on your table. One side is Kuf Chof Beis, 122, and the other side is Perek Chof.
Shar Malaisli David, Samachti, Ba'aymerli, Beis Adonai Nelech. Aim Dais Hu Yagleno, B'Sharayach Yushalayim, Yushalayim Habenuya Keir, Shechuber Allah Yachtav, Shasham, Alu Shvatim, Shifteya, Edus, the Yisrael Lahidas Shem Adonai, Kishama Yashvu, Chisais, Lemishpat, Kisais, Leves David. She'alu Shloim Yishalayim, Yishalayu, Ayavayach, Yehi Shalom Bechelech Shava Bamanasayach, Lamana Chayer, Verea Dabana Shalom Bach, Laman Beis Adonai Eloheinu Avaksha Toiv Lach.
Unfortunately, as we all know, in our deep Golus, there are still many tragedies, unfortunately. And today in Eretz Yisrael, there was a terrible terrorist attack, and four Jews were murdered, and 4 young men are still in serious condition. We're going to say Perek Chof for the Refuah Shlema of these 4 young men who are severely wounded. And then Elisha ben Ruut, Or ben Smadar, Matanya ben Tirza, and Aaron ben Nama. They should all have a Refuah Shlema B'Korav Mamish. We'd like to call dear friend Ephraim Shachman to please read Perek Chof together.
L'menseach mizmor David, Yancha Adonai b'yom tzara, Yisagevecha b'shem Elohi Yaakov, Yishlach Ezracha mikodesh mitzion Yisadecha, Yizkor kol min nechosecha, V'lasecha yidashnei Selah. Yitin lecha chavavecha v'chol atzasecha yimale. Yirana nebiyeshua secha v'shem Eloheinu nigdol yimale Adonai kol mishol secha. Ata yadati ki hoshia Adonai mishichai v'anehu mishmei kadeshai b'greis yeshai yimenoi Ele berecha ve'elu b'sasum v'nachnu, b'shem Adonai Eloheinu nazkir. Hema kira'u v'nafalu, v'nachnu kamnu misodad. Adonai Yoshia melech v'yanenu b'yam kareinu.
We'd like to welcome Rabbi Yisroel Shemtov. In Tafshin Nun Gimmel, 1993, Rivka Marga and I had the zechus to go on the Rebbe's shlichus to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, to the Tzemach Tzedek Shul in the Old City, Chabad of the Old City. Not long after that, Rabbi Shemtov went on shlichus after his marriage to work in the yeshiva in Kfar Chabad. However, both his shlichus and my shlichus and our shlichus somehow evolved. And together, we came together in partnership to build Mayanot with the Rebbe's brachas. And Baruch Hashem, I think it's 26 years later, 25 years later, we are now ready to really get serious about the shlichus and start building Mayanot. So I would like to welcome my partner, a friend, Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, to share words of Torah and inspiration for tonight's Hakhel.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends. Good evening, alumni, and friends that are here, friends that flew in from far and from close. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Firstly, I want to say that Rabbi Gestetner, from the beginning of Hakhel, his dream was to make Hakhels, and every week, every month, this was in his deep ratzon to make a Hakhel. And I really want to thank Rabbi Gestetner for making sure this Hakhel event happens, and there's about 5 or 6 Hakhel events over this week and next week. Yasher koach, Rabbi Gestetner. In a small city in Ukraine, there was a tall tree. And children, like children, used to try to climb this tree. No one succeeded to get to the top of the tree, besides one boy. And when his mother asked him, "How did you get to the top of the tree when others failed?" So his response was, "Others were looking down, I was looking up." Or the way Rabbi Groner says the story, that he heard it from the boy's mother, the Rebbe's mother herself, and he would say, "Others would look what they already accomplished, I look what I have to accomplish." While we're in Mayanot, every one of us is that tree. We have 2 things in mind. We're always looking up. Every student that comes to Mayanot is looking up. Where to get to, what to accomplish is the second. We never say, oh, I accomplished everything. We're looking, what else are we going to accomplish? So we're looking up and we're ready to accomplish every moment something else. How do we take that approach and apply it to ourselves? A year, a decade. Others we met over 2 decades. Ken, 2.5 decades. How do we make sure that inspiration that we're going to climb and climb, and we're not going to be happy with the accomplishments of yesterday, we're going to look for accomplishments of tomorrow? This is really what the Hakhel event is supposed to do. And hopefully from here, it's not going to be just a one-time Hakhel. This will continue in Yirz Hashem in the years to come. There's a custom that a chassan and a kala at the last Sheva Brachas, they have the Sheva Brachas in the yeshiva. And the reason why they have it in yeshiva is to take the inspiration they had in yeshiva and bring it into their marriage life. So I want to share with you, since tonight is the night, Erev Gimmel Tammuz, the night before the 29th yahrzeit of the Rebbe, I want to share with you my personal story. It was 29 years ago. I lived in Kfar Chabad. It was right after my wedding. And I used to teach at the children of Chernobyl school. Chabad took out a lot of children from the Chernobyl disaster. And since I was in Russia for a couple of years with the little Russian I knew, they gave me the job. So I used to teach in the morning in Chernobyl, then go to Kola. I was teaching a class about 9:30. (9:40), and all of a sudden the door opened up, and one of the teachers looks at me with her eyes red and says, "Harabi, the Rebbe." At that moment, everything stopped. I remember my wife's grandmother lives across the street. Put on the radio, and that was the only thing on the news. I immediately ran home, got my passport, got some cash, took my belongings, my talis, my tefillin, and we ran to the airport. In the airport, I found hundreds and thousands of people trying to get onto a chartered plane to make it to the Levaya. And there was only one plane, 486 seats. And they had a pack of tickets, and it was turmoil. There was so many people pushing. At the end, I saw a little lotto booth. You know those lotto booths they have in Israel all over? So I went over to the person who runs the lotto booth. I said, "Do you mind? We have to sell 500 tickets. Could we use your lotto booth for a few minutes?" He said, "Absolutely." Now the rule was you have to have a white beard, you have to be an older chassid, the older shliach to get one of those tickets. But I got him this booth. I said, "Yisroel, I have a booth for you. We're to sell it perfectly well, in a safe place." So we both went in. I gave him my $850. He gave me his ticket, and I had my ticket. So at least I had my ticket. Then finally, we went through customs, we went upstairs, and were sitting and waiting for the plane. And after 3 hours of running back and forth, it was the first time we were able to sit and think. And then we went on to the flight, and everybody was quiet, thinking to themselves. We went on to a flight that took forever, and the flight is still continuing. But what happened on that flight, is beyond belief. As we were sitting on the plane, everyone felt exactly the same way. Not the way we felt yesterday, but the same way we feel today. Not the way we felt Beis Tammuz, but the way we felt today. A surge of energy. That there's no way this is going to stop. And we're going to look up and grow and not going to be satisfied with the accomplishments of yesterday. We will accomplish what the Rebbe want to accomplish. And that's the dream that we want to carry today. There's a story that on Gimmel Tammuz, 72 years ago, as we know, Gimmel Tammuz is also the day that the Frierdiker Rebbe, the death sentence, thank God, was reversed, and it was always a day of celebration. And a few months after the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe passed away, there was a Chassid Rabbi Binyaminson. He was sitting in 770, and he was sitting and bringing, and the Rebbe walked in and he said, Aglai chazach, Aglai chazach. It's a good thing, it's a good thing. But he said, Rebbe, Sitroyerdik. Rebbe, it's sad. The Frierdiker Rebbe just passed away. So the Rebbe said, Troyerdik, sad? That's for the people that are not sitting here. The people that are sitting here with the focus to grow and to accomplish more, for them, it's not Troyerdik. Troyerdik, the Rebbe wanted, there could be an element of Troyerdik, but our goal is to accomplish and to grow. And really, when you look at one nekuda, 1 point, I could tell you from our personal life, we have my sister-in-law, her name is Sarah Shemtov. Her father was the Rebbe's doctor, was the Rebbitzon's doctor. And they got engaged just days before the Rebbitzon passed away. And they canceled the plans for a big engagement party because it's right the week after Shiva. And the Rebbe asked Dr. Feldman what's going on with the Vart, with the engagement party. So she said, we're doing something small in the house. So the Rebbe said, do something big with a proper hall, with music, with the best caterer, with cameras, with flowers, to do it as big as possible. Even though, and this is the Rebbe's approach, even though we want to see the Rebbe back over here, and this is really why we're sitting here Erev Gimmel Tammuz, but at the same time, the Rebbe knows and the Rebbe wants that our accomplishments should grow without any satisfaction, to grow higher and higher. And I want to say this year, in Yirtz Hashem, how do they say, read my lips. We will be going, the group of students that are coming to learn Tuf Shin Pei Dalid will be studying in the brand new building on David Yellen. On Sterot Ben Tzvi. Thank you. Also, on Sterot Ben Tzvi. But I want to say this. It could be, because of this, we might have, putting the vessel of the building together, might have taken away by putting it in the Shema. But now we have a huge vessel in Yerushalayim, which will be focused on rejuvenating our lives in Mayanot. Whenever someone comes, there'll be a place for executive learning. There'll be places for people to learn in Elul. Whenever they want to come, to feel like they're in yeshiva yesterday. And in Yirtz Hashem, we will be sending notices. There will be events that will happen. Please respond kindly, and please make sure to attend and bring others to attend, because... That what? Okay. And if you want, Rivka Margan knows exactly where to get me. But I want to thank also again everyone that took place, that helped out, Maishi Silver and Susie, that helped out with this event. And at the same, and I want to say like this, please, everyone here, it's important. Life throws its challenges, but as long as we're occupied with growth, there's no way their challenges could consume us. And this is the Hira that Rebbe left us. This is why Shluchim, and this is why Lubavitchers are growing despite what others thought. And the Eibusher should help. We should get to the level that we should reach the top of the tree V'kitzu v'ranu Sheikh Ne'afar, together with the Rebbe, v'hu yigalenu, kol tov, and thank you again. I want to take this opportunity. The two Yidden that flew in from Florida, Shia said the Tehillim, but David is an example of what we spoke about now. David comes back in the summer, him and his wife, and they spend either the morning, David is babysitting, and in the afternoon, they switch off, but they have the most amazing summer vacation imagined. I want to tell you, if you think of vacation in the Bahamas, anywhere you go, doesn't come to a vacation where you and your wife could stay in Yerushalayim and come home at night in the afternoon and talk over the learning that you guys studied together in yeshiva. David flew in tonight, and he's going to share with us a few words. Thank you, David. David Duchman.
Thank you, Rabbi. Hi, everyone. And I agree. I mean, coming back, you were talking about growing, and coming back and tapping back into your time in yeshiva certainly helps you grow and stay on the right path. And I have a unique journey with that, having attended Mayanot 3 different times and continuously trying to come back in the summers. Unfortunately, this summer won't work. So thank you for the Hakhel event that brings us all together and for getting a flavor of the magic that is Mayanot. And for everyone in the room that's been there or associated with Mayanot, you know that it truly is magical and has impacts on lives like no other institution that I know of. And I think that's for a couple reasons. When I first showed up to Mayanot, I was 18 years old, and I was probably the first applicant that actually my picture and application, I was wearing a black hat. So I came from home, and it was a little unusual, but in the end, they made it work, I made it work. But really what was most impactful to me in coming to Mayanot as an 18-year-old were the students. The students of Mayanot, I keep using the word magical, but were just so spirited and had a love for Yiddishkeit and Chassidishkeit that I had not seen before, that really inspired me to get better and be a better version of myself at a young age. Often people go to college, you're trying to find yourself. We've all been there, and to come to Mayanot and see students who were a little older than me, who were more mature, who were there because they wanted to be, because they wanted to embrace the religion and Chassidishkeit and Chassidus, and it was an amazing experience for me to see and grow with so many different friends. And I have friends from every time I've been to Mayanot. I then went to college and law school. After graduating law school, I was blessed to have another ability to go back to Mayanot. And this time it was a little different. I was coming after 2-3 years of an Ivy League education, feeling like the whole world was logical and I knew everything about it. And that's where I really got to see the magic of the teachers of Mayanot. I had been trained by world-class professors. None of them hold a candle to the Rebbeim, and I'm sure it's the same on the women's side for the teachers that teach there. It was unbelievable to be taught in a way that speaks to you, teachers who care about you on a personal level, who follow up with you after class, who care about your growth, and I'm forever indebted to them. I stay in touch with almost every one of them and continue to learn with some as well. And then going into the workforce and being able to be part of Mayanot as a donor, living in Crown Heights, attending the Mayanot shul here, and then ultimately I moved back home to Miami. And my wife and I came up with a construct of going for the summers, and going for executive learning is when I think all of that really came together. I was, this past summer, able to take a tour of the new building, getting to see how hard Rabbi Shemtov and Rabbi Gestetner work towards building the wonderful place that is Mayanot, not just the physical space, but the space that we then can all hold in our hearts and our memories forever. Is unbelievable how hard they work towards that, and seeing that at this stage in life, being there with my family, having my kids there on Shabbos was amazing, and they keep asking when we're going to go back. Unfortunately, not this summer, but hopefully the next summer. And all of that perspective really brings it together to the amazing place that Mayanot is. I'm sure the new building will just catapult everything to new heights. And I would just say that as someone who has seen it from many different angles, no matter what position or angle you're in, or your friends, family, loved ones, anyone you know can benefit from being associated with Mayanot, from attending Mayanot, going for a day, going for a week, going for a month, going for years. And you should speak up about that, and you should tell them about that, and you should encourage people to go along my way. I've done the same, and I know that had an impact on other people's lives as well. And with that, we should usher in the coming of Mashiach soon, so we can all be in Israel, and I wish you all a wonderful night.
Before the main course, we are going to call up, I think, someone who does not need an introduction, who's beloved by all the students, Rabbi Wichnin, the Rosh Yeshiva of Mayanot.
L'chaim, l'chaim. Thank you very much, Rabbi Gestetner. Kind words. I don't want to get in the way of the main course. You know, from yeshiva, I never try not to compete with cholent. So, try to make this quick. It's uplifting and heartwarming to see everyone, Baruch Hashem. Thank you, each and every one of you, for making the effort to come. I'm sure it was difficult and it has a lot of logistics to it, etc. And Baruch Hashem, you're here. Thank you very, very much. It's a little bit confusing coming from Eretz Yisrael. This week is Chukas, and here this week is Kairach. So it's which speech to say. But there's a very, very important point that the Rebbe makes about Kairach, which I think is important for us to keep in mind tonight when we speak about our time in yeshiva. The Rebbe speaks about the idea that Kairach, when Moshe Rabbeinu told Kairach, you want to bring Keteris, you want to bring incense, you and the 250 people, you want to be a Kohen Gadol, I also want to. But there are rules that Hashem made, and we have to follow the rules. What's the point of Moshe Rabbeinu telling Kairach, I also want to? That's like, in a certain sense, legitimizing Kairach. Kairach wants, Moshe says, I also want. And the Rebbe says that's the very point. The point is that we always have to want. Now, what we're going to do with that desire, what we're going to do based on the fact that we want, that's what makes all the difference. Moshe also wants to be a Kohen Gadol. Moshe also wants to bring incense. But he knows how to direct that desire in such a way that it should work, that it should be in line with what Hashem wants. But wanting is one of the greatest things. I think the idea of coming back here together is to remember how we wanted things in yeshiva. Now, some people wanted in yeshiva better washing machines. I hope they got that at home. Some people, people want all kinds of things, and you know what you do with when you want things, and you make sure to get them. But each and every one of us, when we were in Mayanot, we wanted to learn, we wanted to daven, and like the famous story where a child came up to his mother and said, "My brother wanted to hit me." She says, "How do you know?" He says, "Because he hit me." But we wanted, and when we leave yeshiva sometimes, that wanting wears off a little bit. And do we say, can we really want that? Does it really make sense to want like we wanted in yeshiva? It's not practical, it's not real. Let's want something less, let's want something more, let's call it palatable, or sometimes it's even mediocre, comparable to what we wanted. And Moshe Rabbeinu was telling Kairach, wanting is very, very important. You could want things that might be totally beyond your reach. But if you want it, and you really want it, and you follow the path that Hashem sets out for you, you'll get to the most incredible things. So keep on remember tonight how you wanted when you were in Mayanot, and keep on wanting like that. When you go back home, wherever you may be, keep on wanting. And Hashem will help that it'll be directed and developed in the greatest way. We all want, from all the things that we want, there's one thing that we want the most. As Yidden, as Chassidim, we want Mashiach now. We want to see the Rebbe here again, and he should lead us to the Geula. We're looking forward with every fiber of our being here, coming from Eretz Yisrael. Every place just begs that. So don't stop wanting. We want, and we'll make it happen now, Amir Hashem. With your permission, I just want to tell a story. There was once a Rav, a new rabbi that was appointed in a community. And when new rabbis come, they like to make new rules. Now, in this community, there was a very beautiful custom, which was a custom of many shtetl in Europe. People would get together in the morning. There would be a chevra tilim before davening. Let's say davening was at 7 o'clock. So they would get together at 5:30 and say tilim. Now, the shul would open at 5. People would sit down and would talk and would schmooze and would mingle. And then they would start saying tilim at 5:30. Now, the new rabbi came and he was very, very frum, very, very serious fellow. And he didn't like this idea that people come at 5 in the morning and they just hang out and schmooze and talk. It didn't sit well with him. That's what you wake up so early for. So he told the gabbai of the shul, the shamus, from now on, the shul should be opened every day at 5:25. People will come in, they'll sit down, and they'll start saying tilim. So, obviously, once upon a time, people listened to what the rabbi had to say, and the rule was put into place. After like a few weeks of this happening, suddenly the rabbi realizes that he's beginning to get many more requests for help than he's been getting. Suddenly, it's been increasing. And he started to figure out why, he started to ask, why is this? And he realized, by asking the people of the community, that when people would get together in the shul in the morning and they would talk before davening, before tilim, one would say to the other, you heard, Moshe's cow broke its leg yesterday. So they would say, oh, I have an extra cow, I can help him out. Another one would say, you hear, I have to go to the city, I have to get this, I need help with that. And people would help each other, people would interact, people would hear what's going on by each other. The ishas re'eu yazayru, man would help his fellow, ula'achiv, and to your brother, he fell you, it's yomer chazak, you would strengthen each other. So the rabbi told the gabbai, open up the shul at 4:30. Let them come and talk. All the talking they do before tilim, don't do it during tilim. Don't do it during davening. But all the talking that you do now, I asked Moshe Silver, is there music? He said, I said, we don't need music. Talk. We'll talk to each other. We'll connect. And Amir Hashem will be able to accomplish many great things.